Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today is May 28th, 2019. As always, this show is sponsored by Camera Store, so camerastore.com. So yeah, let's get to the beginning of the news. As usual, I'm going to just give a quick update on my own news. Super film support is still there. There's a new episode coming next Wednesday. Last Wednesday, it was all about when does film expire, which I thought was pretty interesting. Next one's going to be, I think, if I remember correctly, about 4x5 cameras and what choice to take after a Graflex. And then we have our Patreon giveaway. As I said last week, I'm going to celebrate the 100th episode of the news. Today is 94, so there's 6 more. And I did a call for action for people to support me through Patreon. And in exchange, depending on the number of Patreons, I would give a number of things as giveaways. So I offered as a first perk, 40 Patreons would get a box of FP100C, my latest stock, just slightly expired, but the last thing you can find. Thankfully, we have blasted through 40. We are up to 50, I think 3 or 4 right now. And thankfully, 50 was the next level. And that will be a box of 4x5 film by CatLABS. CatLABS has agreed to help me with this giveaway, so they're very generously sending a box of 4x5 film of their new ISO 80 4x5 film, black and white, to anyone in the world. And if someone doesn't shoot 4x5, it's okay. You can opt down to 120 medium format film from CatLABS, or they also have 35mm film, so something in the same price range in the 35 or 120. So that's at 50. It's unlocked. It'll be given away when I reach 100. And the next step is 60. So as I said last week, Patreon starts from $1 up. Different perks, way to support this news show and channel in general. So thank you so much for those who have subscribed to my Patreon. For those who haven't or are thinking about it, it's a good moment. There's going to be a great giveaway. It's going to go gradually up in perks. So next one, 60, which I'm very happy to announce as soon as we reach there. But I'm going to say it's chemistry and darkroom related. So hopefully it'll help someone starting out, something like that. Okay. So let's get to the news. The lap box is finally in a ship. It's not shipping yet. It's shipping in a ship to their warehouses to start distributing. So they posted on Facebook a picture of a boat container that was basically had whatever amount of hundreds probably of lab boxes that are going to go to their warehouses and start delivering and shipping. So very good news for those who always doubted about their project. I always thought it was a way bigger project than they anticipated. So far it's been proven to be right, and I'm glad to see that they've done the best they could to make it. So as soon as it's getting delivered finally, I'll give you guys an update, but they'll probably be very happy to update their backers on Kickstarter and such. Then from another Kickstarter, we have a Reflex with an update. And Reflex has a very nice update explaining kind of the situation. First, Kickstarter rewards people are asking for refunds. Of course, Kickstarter is not a place where you can buy something, you don't get it, you ask for a refund. Sadly, if someone hasn't read it, Kickstarter is to kickstart projects that maybe other ways wouldn't have the money or the resources to do their projects. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they do better, sometimes they, even add something else to the Kickstarter. So it's not possible to refund the money of a Kickstarter. They said it. All the money they got is already invested into getting the Reflex camera out there. And then they give updates. The camera, they're testing the shutter. They're going to be shipping, working on the shutter very soon. So that's working towards it. And then they also gave an update about the 40mm lens, which I saw at Photokina and we talked about. And that lens is ready to do a separate Kickstarter, but they do not want to start a second Kickstarter before the previous one is, in the final stages or finalized. I very much feel the same way. I have a previous Kickstarter I still haven't finished. I have a new Kickstarter that I was going to do this summer that was huge for me and for you, hopefully, but I've postponed it till I finish my first Kickstarter because I don't want to leave the impression I don't fulfill my rewards. So that's basically the update on Reflex. You can read it online. It's on their Kickstarter. It's open for anyone to read. Link is below. Then we have news from the Adox Poliwarmtone. First thing I have to say is, Adox, please have one source of news. There's like 6 different pages I have to resource, find information about Adox. This one I had never even seen. Thankfully, I had seen it on, I think, Facebook. It's adox.ch, which is Swiss. Basically, they're a Swiss plant where they're making the new coating and all this. The Poliwarmtone has been cut finally, and there's a picture of Mirko, the CEO of Adox and Photo Impex, with Lina Besonova, the YouTuber photographer from Florence, with the first box of Poliwarmtone paper. So please, Mirko, just keep all the information in one place, adox.de or whatever it is. I would love to just find it in one place. It'd make my job much easier, and probably yours too. Okay, then we have an update from the One Instant. They're finally moving into production, so they are still looking for people to assemble the One Instant. You can join the team until the end of May, which is basically in a couple of days. And yeah, they're working on it. They just need a couple more little materials and source for these goods, and then they're full on going to be, ensembling the One Instant shots. They said they've been testing it out and it's been working great. We saw it in the previous update, so that's good news for everyone. Then we have an update from Ferrania that I totally forgot last week. It's not on their Kickstarter, it's not on their website, it's on their Facebook group. And it's one of the workers that they rehired from the old Ferrania to basically be a mechanic that will take care of all the machines being, up to spec. So that's great news. As a person that works in a factory, I spend half my day full of grease and dirt because you need to fix and tune machines all day. So that's great that Ferrani has someone on board that already knows the factory, that is already working to make sure that everything will run smoothly when they start once again. Then I have another update from Negative Supply, which I mentioned that there was a new device to scan your film. Well, their website has a bit more information now. It's going to be sort of a device that will let you put a whole roll in it, and you will be able to digitalize with a digital camera and a macro lens and a light source. So it kind of looks like a scanner, but with no sensor readout on the top. It's just an open gate, and you can shoot from the top. It has a little wheel that moves the negatives from one frame to the other. So there's the 35 version on the website. And the good thing is they say nothing will touch your negatives. It kind of, squeezes the sides and has probably a little gear that moves the sprockets. So for those people that are loving digitalizing 35mm film, this will be great because you don't have to cut your roll. You just kind of like go frame by frame, shoot it or whatever you do, and then you can cut it and archive it however you do. So good news from Negative Supply. They're going to have they have a link. I'll have a link to their website, but they also have a little, subscribe to their newsletter thing, so you can be up to date. I'm subscribed. I'll let you guys know if there's any other information. Then we have the 20th Century camera, which I mentioned a couple weeks back, with their special reel for 4x5, which they very nicely contacted me. They're sending me a 4x5 reel. I don't have the tank, but I'll figure out how to get the tank and test it out for you guys. They've been building front rise and tilt for those RB Graflex cameras. If you don't know, the Graflex RBs are these massive reflex 4x5 cameras, and I think even 5x7. And I think there was an 8x10. Someone corrected me last time saying that it was never seen. I just have a feeling I've seen it somewhere. So they've added rise and a little tilt, which is pretty awesome for a handheld 4x5 camera. Then Lomography Purple is on its way. We all know Lomography Purple is a stock that a lot of people love, and they had it on pre-order for the longest time, and finally they've received it and they're going to start shipping to all those people that pre-ordered. So if you're one of those, you'll get your film very soon. And last, there's an SP 8x10 update. They've been updating every 10 days, 2 weeks on their 8x10 tray system. And there's new design, the bottom and the lid. It looks a little bit more sleek. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave pictures because there's no link there. It's not on their website or blog. It's only through their email, subscription. So yeah, that's all for the news this week. As always, remember the Patreon giveaway. If you subscribe to Patreon, depending on the level we reach, there'll be different giveaways. Each level will be an individual giveaway, which is very important. So far, we have a box of FP100C from Fujifilm, a box of CatLABS 80 4x5 film, thanks to CatLABS. Next one I'll announce when we reach 60 Patreons. I'm up to 53 or 54 right now, so thank you so much for everyone that supported that way. And as always, if you have any information, you can send an email to the email below. Thanks to Camera Store for sponsoring the news. See you in the next one.